good teams. That's always nice to watch those. Wake up in the morning, some good Dota.
Yeah, great way to start your day. There's so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
Dota going on right now too. It's pretty
It's a
pretty great.
lot.
It's hard to keep up on everything though. That's the thing that I'm struggling with because
It is.
you've
It
got
is. Yeah.
you've got all these different regions because right now that's all we can do with Dota, right? Is regional. Some of them don't even have English casts. I was trying to watch one for the South American region. They did not provide English or Portuguese, I don't think. I think it was just straight up only Spanish.
That
So
yeah, sure. And I mean, makes sense. Casters are also very busy with the different with the different regions. Um, yeah, it's an interesting time we live in. Honestly, I always wake up, people be like, "Oh, did you watch this match?" It's like, "Nah, dude, I'm on this schedule, so I didn't get to see it." And
yeah.
even the picks between the regions are, um, I saw somebody in NA yesterday flaming somebody for picking a bounty hunter. And if you look at Dota 2 Pro Tracker, bounty hunter is like a top 10 hero in
Mhm.
terms of pro level pubs. And it's just not picked in NA. If you click through the list of the pros that are picking BH, it's like Misery and like Miracles and like people that aren't playing in NA. So people in NA, you pick BH and get flamed, but not in Europe. And of course, China is the same. They've got their picks.
I mean,
Every
Flywin actually played the bounty hunter recently, in the off lane position against PSG LGD. So I
hmm,
mean, even
offlane. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's from what I've seen, it's mostly like four position and mid. Some people are playing at
in
mid.
mid,
Yeah,
okay.
which is kind of wild, but there's a huge amount of diversity in the picks these days, and it's it might be because the patches are balancing things a lot better,
Mm.
where you have a lot of heroes that are very viable, or maybe it's just because you have so many different regions that are playing totally separate right now. So a lot of heroes are just getting picked for that reason. But
What do you think one of the reasons why bounty hunters seen such a resurgence is the fact that gold is a lot more difficult to come by on the map? Like it seems like we've been seeing this trend where it's more and more difficult to actually get gold as a support, especially, right? Because denies no longer exist. You have to be stacking. You have to hope that your team picks someone who's going to be able to take the stacks, pulling constantly.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that before it was nerfed to kind of make it equivalent to like the gold changes that they did. I think it was definitely a lot better. I think the fact that just BH has been buffed in general helps as well. Like if you're picking a bad hero that farms gold in a goldless meta, can still be pretty bad because you do need to fight. But he's pretty good at fighting right now. Like he's
Mhm.
been buffed to the point where he's really good at fighting. But in my opinion, what's really king is XP. And I mean that's what we've seen.
Right.
It's I played a game yesterday in a pub, and we have a draft here. We'll get into it in a second, but I played a game yesterday in a pub where the enemy team gave up. They just fed, right? Well, they weren't feeding, but they just farmed our side of the map. They said like go down mid and end. And I
Okay.
I noticed that it was really hard. We were getting so little gold from just free farming creep waves that we couldn't, like, we were just so slowly ending compared to before, where you could farm necro books and meteor hammers and things like that. Like basically in a free farm game where you aren't killing enemies, you really notice the difference in gold. And you don't notice that when you play a normal Dota game where people aren't feeding, because everybody's just fighting now, right? So you do
Mhm.
get, it does feel like you have the speed, the momentum like before, except now we're getting it from getting kills, from getting XP. And so that's why heroes like Legion Commander, Ember Spirit, heroes that are really good with levels, heroes that can snowball off of a laning stage and have a good mid game. That's why these heroes are getting picked. It is all about brawling and fighting, and no matter what region you're in, that's true. It's just that some regions will, farm while brawling. They'll have like one person that's farming, and then they'll connect to the
Mhm.
fight or something like that. But it's always about fighting in this meta, which is interesting. But also, uh, it kind of seems like the idea of ganking and playing the map separately doesn't really exist right now too much. Any gank always turns into a giant fight. I don't know if you find the same things happening in your pubs, but it's definitely happening in mine.
I think it also depends to like the way that you position around your core. I feel like a lot of the really top teams I think Vici Gaming was doing this fairly well, is that they would take fights, but they would be surrounded like by the rest of their team. Maybe, maybe they're not willing to take a fight at the time, but they're there just in case. Like they can
Exactly.
fight
Yeah.
should they need to. And I think that's very, very important. But,
Right.
we talked about, inter-regional meta kind of thing. And seeing a lot of this Ember Spirit and the Grimstroke, obviously for that wombo combo kind of deal where you've got any mobile hero plus the Inkswell. I think it's funny that Royal Never Give Up has taken such an interest in these purges, right? If you take a look, you've got the Oracle and the Legion Commander, both of these very, very highly valued, not only for the fact that, they brawl a little earlier, you've got a good save with Oracle, but because of those purges, and purges seem to be really king right now.
Yeah, I mean, purges are great. I mean, especially when you pick up Mirana, you have like basically the only great two purges on your team. But I think this the Oracle against Ember and Grimstroke is a very good pick against both of those. So I mean, maybe RNG was anticipating the fact that like the Grim would come out with the Ember, because that is a very common pick that you see, especially with Keeper of the Light being banned. Really, Grimstroke is the other position 5 that gets picked a lot with that. And so the Oracle to basically purge the two bubbles, the Ember bubble and the Grim bubble, that's amazing. And then also you have Legion Commander, who is a classic counter to the Ember Spirit. It's just pure physical damage. You can just stand in the lane and bully the hell out of him. So if this is an Ember carry, then there are going to be some problems with this Legion Commander pickup. I do worry, though, however, for RNG, like, is this committing too hard? Because to me, clearly what this is screaming is that they anticipated this Ember pick. This is their answer to we're going to let Ember through. And I'm kind of wondering, maybe I have the inkling feeling that Ember's too much of a versatile hero that like countering it just doesn't do anything, especially when you can just run it in like a 4 or 3 position. You know what I mean? But and we'll see.
No.
Maybe they can really punish it.
That's true. I mean, you're talking a lot, the Grimstroke, the Ember combo, typically we'll see those two heroes placed in a lane together. Occasionally you'll see them broken up, though. Sometimes you'll see the Ember go mid. Sometimes, the Grimstroke will go top and accompany someone. Just different, and Ember will be run as a position 4. So it is a little worrisome that you do see that. I do feel like Oracle just is a pretty not standard, but a decent pickup just in general.
I agree.
For what he can do, and he did just get buffed too with some of his talents. I believe I can't think of them off the top of my head. I need more coffee this morning.
So they made it so that his Q, which I don't know any of the spell names because they're all very confusing with Oracle, probably the most confusing in the game, but his Q, he can channel it. There's a talent where he channels it, and it increases the min and max duration on the on the disable, as opposed to before you would have to channel it, and it was like plus 1 second to the time, but you'd actually have to channel it for that extra 1 second in order to get that duration. Now that's not the case. You can literally just wind it up and pop it off, and it'll add like whatever the talent is, like 0.6 seconds or something like that, which is pretty substantial for what is already like a 2.5 second disable. Like roots are good in Dota these days. Roots are great, especially against like Ember Grimstroke, as we talked about. And then they also changed his a talent that makes
cooldown.
The cooldown, yes, yeah, it's right. Really amazing.
Minus 20 seconds, I believe.
It's huge. That's huge. I mean, it's already a 40-second cooldown at max level. Like late game Oracle is legit gonna be just a beast. And with an anti-mage, imagine trying to kill an anti-mage in the late game with a 20-second cooldown Oracle ult. I mean, if you can get there, it's going to be amazing. And that's the question. Can they actually get to the late game? Anti-mage has seen I think 2 or 3% win rate increase since the last letter patch on Dota buff. So, maybe that's lower level pubs. Who knows? Let me see what the buffs to him were out of curiosity. Mage change logs.
Because I think the other thing you have to be really careful about too is that you've got an Oracle, they've got a Clockwork, you've got an Ember Spirit who can zip to the back lines. Like this Oracle has to have the positioning of his life to stay alive and keep the rest of his team alive. Because if he's caught out, then all of a sudden all your healing's gone. Like your hero that's a very valuable hero that you need to protect. So I'm interested to see how they can position this.
All they did in the C patch was they basically changed the Mana Void cooldown to be back to what it was, which is negative 45 seconds to the Mana Void cooldown. And so it's for some reason this hero's win rate has been going up, and I see a lot of people picking it. It's my guess, my like gut feeling looking at this is just that it's probably like due to just meta shifts. Like maybe he's really good against a lot of the offlaners. Like you can see that Slardar just got banned and not a popular hero anymore, but it's like that's the counter to anti-mage in the offlane. So I think a lot of the popular offlaners just don't do anything to an anti-mage, probably among some other more subtle things. But I mean, AM's not that great of a hero. It's definitely much better in competitive though. Like if you have a full team around you that knows how to play with an anti-mage, it is certainly much better than in pubs.
I guess they don't have like very traditional lockdown for him too, right? You've got the you do have the root with the Grimstroke, the Ember Spirit Searing Chains, and you've got the silence that Grimstroke can put out. But some of these other ones, it's pretty difficult to lock him down with what Keen Gaming have on the board.
Yeah, I mean, especially once he picks up that Manta style, it's going to be really difficult to kill him because really the way that I see him dying is in Ember Searing Chains into Grimstroke, silence, Grimstroke bubble, possibly like clock hook into knockback, but all of these are just like pseudo disables. They're not a real disable. But
it's all on one hero too, which means that if you're focusing down this anti-mage that hard, the rest of the team is just running around having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, and also there is an Oracle as well to salvage if. Interesting. All right.
He's coming up more and more recently. This is what, our second Enigma?
Yeah, that we've seen. Yeah,
they did it yesterday though too, right?
So I'm a fan of this hero. I do like the Enigma, and they go for the Kunkka pickup. Okay,
so that's a Kunkka.
Just solid, really solid mid laner. It looks like a pretty free game for a Kunkka, basically. But it's long range disable to interrupt the Enigma hole. But I'm not a huge fan of the Enigma versus Anti-Mage just because ever since they changed the Midnight Pulse damage to be magic. AM's actually one of the better heroes against Enigma, even though it used to be the complete opposite, where Enigma was an anti-mage counter. Now it's the opposite. Anti-mage is a counter to Enigma. He can also interrupt the black hole through BKB with Mana Void. So it is interesting, but then again, you also have this early game timing from Enigma where he like picks up a Dom and just runs at towers. And then, does anti-mage want to fight before 25 minutes? God, no. Like, that never happens, That's like maybe in 2016, you have a Magnus on your team, he builds a Vlad's or something stupid like that, but it doesn't happen. So there's this early game timing from Enigma, I think, that they can definitely capitalize on for Keen.
I think a lot of it also depends on if the Enigma does well enough in his lane / kind of jungling, right? I think there's going to be a lot of pressure placed on him.
Definitely. I mean, you can totally miss that early game timing on Enigma if you just have a crappy lane because you don't get the Dom early enough where all of a sudden Kunkka and Legion Commander show up in your lane and they kill all of your Eidolons in one hit. That can definitely happen. Let's see. What are our roles here? Okay, we have YDS on Clockwork, so this is a core Enigma, right?
Yep.
Getting that one right.
Off laner. I like his Clockwork set too. I like his little hat.
Yeah, that is a cool set.
I love this hero. I love Clockwork.
Although his mouth looks just absolutely horrific.
Oh no, I've seen that dragon the other day, the DK set with the black dragon.
Okay, I gotta say, that's not how the mouth looked to me. That was like some optical illusion.
Yeah, but if you look at it, oh no, it's awful. Nightmare fuel.
You're getting optic eluded. That's a classic right there. And okay, so they're starting with the Mirana and the Oracle top together with the Anti-Mage, just giving him a nice, first. Possibly they could set up here as a tri-lane for like 30 seconds and just bully and try to get a kill.
What's an Enigma really going to do, right? An Enigma level 1's always going to go for Eidolons.
Yeah, that is always with an Enigma on your team. It's pretty common that you sack one bounty rune and you just you just get one. That's kind of a common thing that people do.
It's all right. He's just having fun over here. He's dancing by himself.
That's one of my favorite taunts in the game. I love that taunt.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, Manet had to go for his blink first. That's pretty good.
Ooh, good arrow coming out from September. Just push them back. They should be able to secure themselves this bounty rune, no problem. So, are they going to get 3 actually? Because Flywin.
It's the classic Enigma. I mean, this is what happens when the hero's on your team, is that you have to give away 3 bounties because he's just the worst level. Like, everybody tries to punish this.
But why wouldn't you put a support down the bottom along with the Terrorblade and then just have Enigma sitting the further one in?
I think because
my
they didn't know like where September was. That's why he was just sitting in the pit and not showing the whole time. He was so they couldn't just set up to get the bounty runes. You always have to be careful with Mirana. You never know where that arrow's coming from.
Nah, it's true. Vigilance is going to be very, very important in this game, especially during laning, making sure that you don't have an arrow flying through your face here in this mid lane. But they do have the Mirana ward up, so they can see, you know, depending if she takes that path. And any time that September goes missing, I'm sure they're going to play very, very carefully on the side of Keen.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of you have to if you're especially if you're an Ember Spirit with this Kunkka against you and Mirana, you get arrowed, you're definitely gonna die. That's an interesting ward. We see a lot of teams placing that these days against this Mirana hero. It's cool to see that this is just like now the accepted ward spot against this hero.
Man, Monet is being so aggressive here in this top lane.
Yeah, without an Orb of Venom as well, just purely right-clicking.
Yeah,
No
he took a lot of harass actually from the tower. He took like what, 3 shots?
Yeah, not sure if that's really worth it. Not sure. I mean, he really doesn't do any damage without the mana break anyway, so.
I see a blackness none can see.
God. YDS is being so annoying up here.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He knows that his Enigma can't do a whole heck of a lot here in the laning phase other than just make Eidolons and occasionally throw out the Malefice, but...
Yeah, not yet. He's pretty useless.
Tis the life of an Enigma.
Yeah. Courier
Nice
goes
little
down.
pick off though. They have a nice ward over here by the site, and it's like right on the cusp too.
Yeah.
If you look there of that sentry, that feels bad.
That's an annoying ward. That's the 4 position ward.
Oh.
Ooh, arrow. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
First
arrow.
blood, just like that.
Yep.
Wow.
Over this land.
It's gotta feel good if you're Mirana too. We talked about, you know, the importance of being able. Oh, she's gonna get a courier too. Yeah, she is. We've talked about, you know, the important. Oh gosh, YDS gets taken down too in the top lane. He was sitting pretty low though.
Finally gets punished for his aggression. I mean, he was being super aggressive up here. With that being said, his Enigma is totally well. He's having a good game. He's farming about as well as the anti-mage is, but he's got 8 denies. So this is looking pretty good for our boy here on Enigma. Mid heavily favoring Setsu though. This Kunkka. So hard to deal with him as an Ember. Too much physical damage.
Oh yeah. Splash damage coming off from the Tidebringer as well. Just really difficult to deal with, especially as a melee hero. You have to position yourself perfectly. And oh man, he's got to actually go walk all the way back.
Wow, that is not what you'd like to see.
This
for your
is
mid laner.
a
It's
one
just
lane by
walking.
Setsu. Yeah, and he's getting really close to that bottle too.
Yeah, that's rough. But you know, it's an Ember Spirit. This hero will almost always recover. It is the last pick you're playing up against with a first pick Ember, so it's you know, kind of expected that you lose your lane. He'll be able to recover, I'm sure, with some rotations.
I wouldn't say that anyone's taken a super commanding lead in terms of lanes just yet, but of course it was only about 4 minutes in, so. Look at this.
I mean, looking...
September, just right over here on the ward. This ward is paying off dividends.
Yeah, he's also controlling the runes, which is really nice against the Ember, who does have the bottle.
That's important. And looks like the rune's gonna spawn bottom. It is an arcane blood. He really wants it. He just went back to base to get that bottle, and he's not gonna be able to get it.
That's a rough one.
Especially considering that he had to, you know, walk all the way and whatnot. Can't even get a free refill.
Boom, there it goes.
That's a thing in Canada too, right?
Free refills?
Yeah.
Depends on the store.
I know the Europeans always get very, very excited. The ones that I know anyways. They're like, free refills.
That arrow. That was interesting. They did not time their little combo right. That was
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They don't have free refills in Europe?
Not
What
in
a
a
god-
lot of places, apparently.
What a godforsaken country Europe is.
Careful, man, careful.
Worst
They can
country.
throw it right back at us here.
NA.
You are NA too, don't forget. You may be
NA best
America's
country.
hat, but
I'm a fedora.
oh
That's what
god.
I am.
Out of all the hats to pick.
Milady.
Nope, absolutely not. You see rotation
Look
coming
at,
out here from YDS.
Yeah, he's
The prize
any
is
vision
right.
of this? No, they don't see him.
Okay.
But he does pick up his tranquils, so he's a speedy little bugger.
Setsu's playing
But you-
very aggressively too, so they could punish him for this. Smart
Yeah, I
spot
mean,
into the torrent. In comes YDS. Like you said, he's very, very swift. He's gonna go throw out the boat. YDS sidestepping off to the side. Not quite enough damage though to finish him off. A TP starts coming in, but oh, they'll turn back around. September lands the arrow, but just again, not enough damage.
Yeah, cool little play there from Setsu. I mean, with just the torrent faking that he's doing, this is it's obvious
God.
this guy's a.
September just
I think
walks
he
right into Blood and YDS.
Yeah, he had a few leap charges. Oh, Enigma
Radiant's
dies
middle
to
tower
the
is
combo.
under attack.
Anti-mage Oracle. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, but that's
this hero.
also perfect, right? Because the second that they know that the supports have rotated, Monet and Super just get super aggressive.
That's true. You definitely have to go for that when you see the clockwork mid. It's like, all right, this guy cannot be playing
Blood is
as far
dead.
up.
Radiant's
They got the
middle
combo
tower
They
right
is
that
under
time, Jake.
attack.
okay, they did the combo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got
that's,
the X into
Bottom
arrow.
tower is under
that,
attack.
when they first did that, it looked like to me that they forgot that they had this combo, and like Kunkka was just playing to Torrent, and then Murata was just playing to Arrow, and then afterwards they're like, oh wait a minute, we have this like broken combo. Let's do this.
But you got to make
'Cause,
sure
you know-
that you remember the timing of the arrow too now, because that got changed a couple patches back, right?
Yeah, but with the X, it's like it's more on the Kunkka to get it right with
That's
the X.
true. Drawing it back.
But it's sometimes like you just have these heroes that just happen to be good in the meta, and you just pick it, and then you're like, oh wait a minute, this is a combo. I've definitely had that happen before. And then you mess it up once, and then just never again, because
And then you're flamed by your team.
yeah, I mean that's when you start hitting the combos when the flames come out.
You just need that little extra motivation for sure. This bottom lane though going very, very nicely for the
Okay,
side
that
for
was sick.
Erica. They get another combination in again.
Yeah, that was okay. That was also really sick from Blood.
Yeah.
So what happened there was Setsu X marked him, faked the torrent, and timed it so that Blood would use his remnant backwards. So he actually X'd, he remnanted, brought him in with the X, the arrow hit, but it turns out Blood had actually dropped another remnant at the remnant spot right before getting arrowed. So just like some really cool little micro plays from every single little player in that engagement.
Well, it feels like he has to realize what the setup is every single time, right? So the fact that he keeps that extra remnant off to the side, I think is a really good insurance policy.
Definitely, but he had that, and they predicted it, and then they got him, but then he put a second one as well. So it was just this really cool, like, little thing. I mean, totally, it didn't accomplish anything. I mean,
Just looked
it's
cool.
it looked cool. It's unfortunate that the only achievement there is like not dying. You know, you're not getting a kill or something for your play. So there is still a 4K gold lead for RNG. So it's still looking really good for them, but it is cool to see little plays like that. Just shows like individual skill. But that is not necessarily what wins games.
So this is kind of interesting, the fact that Xiaofu, he's level 6. He did opt to go for that black hole, but I'm just curious as to who's going to be joining up with him to output the damage right now.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say probably like it's got to be Ember, but Ember's having a tough time in the mid lane that he might want to just take the easier kills.
Well, they're not going to
YDS?
get dual damage, but they will be able to collect a kill here in the bottom lane.
It's really hard to lane against this Legion at this point. There is no hero on Keen that can do it. Enigma, Eidolons are going to die. Ember, we already talked about this hero being a counter to Ember. And then Terrorblade, you clear the illusions with your overwhelming odds.
Yeah,
So
as I was saying,
Flywin is free. He's
that's what
having
I
a
was
free
saying
game.
earlier. The fact that Erica had a great lane, 69 and 13 last hits and denies, but also Flywin having a very free game as well,
Radiant's
right below
bottom
him,
tower
52
is
and
under
7.
attack.
So You've got the
Yeah.
space that's been made
He's
for
a big
Erica.
boy.
But we've seen Erica, you know, be a really... Oh, they find the kill in the top lane, though. All right, I guess all they
With the
needed
hole.
was, yeah, all they needed
that
was
answers-
Grimstroke.
That answers the question.
Grimstroke?
I would not have expected that to be able to kill an anti-mage.
No,
But
I
I
would
think
not either.
I think they had the Eidolon split as well.
Oh, okay, so a little extra damage.
So I swear to God, I bet you that made the difference. I've played this matchup. Like, you legitimately need that. That's. I mean, honestly, Xiaofu just seems like he's an insanely good Enigma. We saw him play it before too, right? And I think it went pretty nicely. Like, his play looked good in the game.
He had a couple whiffs, unfortunately, but
That happens.
It happens to every player here. YDS trying to bait a little bit. X marks the spot into the boat. Immediately just remnants out though, and now Satsu getting body blocked. Go pop the illusion rune. Just walk away here. Top lane though, we do have a fight brewing. It feels like they really want this top tower. Arrow gets thrown out, takes down the Cardi.
Just kind of pressuring. Erica is in the area, but he doesn't have meta, so he honestly, like, that looks to me like Keen just wanted to force as many RNG heroes that they could to go to that top lane. Because,
well,
hey, you want to stall for your TB, but I say that and there's a 6k gold lead for RNG, so this is looking pretty rough. Pretty damn rough.
It's like Clockwork's trying to be a little bit annoying here against Setsu, but you know who's in the vicinity is Blood, but also Super managing to go and drops that ultimate as fast as he can. He's healing himself up though. Needs to be careful here. I hear the hook over on the back. Setsu's still alive. Nice soulbind though coming through. They can take this round. They can get the kill onto Kunkka. They've got the damage. Are they gonna? Yeah, there it is. The slide coming out now. Blood here is gonna get nuked down by Super, and a little bit of help here from September as they'll find yet another kill as they take down YDS.
That misclick on the heel definitely feels bad, man. You know,
Like
after
himself. I was a little surprised about that. Nice dancing shoes on Fantasy, but unfortunately not quite dancey enough because Super just comes in with those purifying flames and they'll secure themselves some dual damage.
Yep. Lots of damage on this Oracle right now, man. This hero feels like once you hit level 7, you cannot stand in lane against Oracle. Between the Purifying Flames, Fortune's End, good lord, it's like 800 damage. Oh, you're too far up, buddy.
Yeah, he is absolutely no mana, nothing to save him. Nothing like a gank from the anti-mage and the Kunkka, am I right?
Yeah, the classic duo.
The classic roaming duo. That double damage also coming in handy. Man, he looks so anime right now with that glowy double damage.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea he had a double damage until you said that.
Because of all the particles?
I cannot tell with all the particles that he has. That is, I don't know if that's pay to win or pay to lose. A lot of cosmetics. It's up in the air.
That's true. What is it? I know, oh gosh, look at this. I like how Flywin is responding to Erica here and also going top so he can just take down any of the illusions and whatnot. There's a lot of people actually up here. Smoke over on the side of Keen. Spot out the Marana. We'll take the tower, but Flywin, he's got the blink. He's already gone out, so looks like September's going to be the one who gets pushed back out of here. Silence getting thrown out by Fantasy, plus the Inkswell will be able to help secure the kill for YDS.
Unfortunately, that ulti from Oracle at level 1 has such a low cast range that there's like no way Super could have saved his Marana there, unless he was directly next to the Marana, and in that case he's probably going to die. Like, this is the one thing that I think is holding Oracle back as a hero, is the fact that the early levels in False Promise are just such low range.
It's not as bad. What is it, the Vengeful Spirit, where you have to be like basically next to them, level 1, to get the swap off? That's always felt bad.
That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
Oh
That's
wow,
a rough
YD is
hero.
popping the smoke. We'll turn right back in here again. Hopefully get some dual damage on Flywin. But I mean, if you're gonna lose someone, you know, I think you're okay with it being that support.
Yeah, I think so. First dual win for Flywin, so he's pretty happy about that.
Is it? I thought he had already. Oh, I guess he had.
He's been
had a couple
dueling.
duels, but
I mean, technically speaking, like, if you duel somebody and you beat the crap out of them and they have less HP than you, like, that's a win, right?
Yeah. But you don't get the bonus damage, unfortunately.
Like, is it a tie if somebody doesn't die in a duel? I feel like that's pretty morbid. I mean, what type of duel are we talking about here?
I don't know. I don't know which. Are we talking about the the colonial American duel or the
I don't know.
the old French duel or
Yeah, because like in MMA, if you knock somebody out, like you win, but also you could just win by not knocking them out and
by
just,
points. Yeah.
and just play better. I don't even know how to describe it other than like using gaming terms, but you know, if you're just a way better player in MMA, you just win. It's just GG.
Man, every time that Erica shows up on the other side of the map, it's just Flywin like right on his butt the entire time. They're just trying to make it as difficult as possible. But we're kind of seeing something very similar to the other game that Keen did, where, you know, Erica was top of the net worth, but the rest of his team just started to trail too far behind. And that's something I'm a little concerned about. Oh, nice play there here by Blood. Not quite landing that combination.
See, the problem though with Blood making these cool plays, like every time he's like, "Oh yes, he survived." Oh wait, that's not winning. That's just not losing. You know?
Yeah. Good way to
Feels
put
bad.
it.
Ouch.
That's you showing off that shiny new Shadow Blade here.
Oh my god, he just denied 3 creeps on that wave. What an ass. That's so annoying. If you're an Ember, you should have a Kunkka walks up and X hits you. 10 billion damage, just denies every creep on the wave. Feels so bad.
Feels really good if you're a Kunkka, though.
It does, yeah. I mean, he's top of net worth. He's huge on Setsu. Is he going for Radiance? No, he's going for this like Shadow Blade BKB build. So letting other heroes deal with the Terror Blade. It seems like you mentioned, Flywin is constantly harassing this guy with overwhelming odds. Dude, Flywin has a 4-staff queued up.
It's gonna be the most mobile, you know, Legion commander you've ever seen. Fly is literally in his name, you know? I mean, he wants to go places. He's mobile.
That's true. Well, you can definitely do that with a 4-staff.
Look at this positioning coming out from the side of RNG. Arrow gets thrown. Not gonna be able to find Blood here. Just have to be happy with taking the tower, but they managed to get their own down here in bottom.
YDS? Excuse me, sir?
I don't know, they don't have the rest of the team. I'm surprised that they're making these moves. I thought maybe the Enigma would show up because he does have the black hole, but he's still in the bottom lane with Grimstroke.
He is getting closer to that Blink Dagger on Enigma. We'll see if they can do something sick with that, but like I said, I am concerned about just the fact that you can't just kill an anti-mage at all points in the game anymore with that hole. Oh, nice, the reflect.
They're trying, though.
Yeah, they tried. That was a nice... I mean, I like the attempt to set up on him there. It's not an easy kill to get without an Ember Spirit at this point. So, little cheeky play with the net, but Anti-Mage was indeed cheekier.
What did... Blood's Courier just got taken out by Setsu.
Top lane.
Yeah, they don't have the save, I don't think, for Setsu, but will help a little bit. Arrow coming through, not going to be able to quite connect. Setsu trying to juke around, does have the X. September coming in. He's going to try to just help out as much as he can. In comes Flywin, too. Ooh, Erica does have that one remnant off to the side. Flywin hoping maybe he can lock him down, maybe get a little dual damage because he is sitting a bit low, but Arrow coming through for September. Blood going to be able to sidestep it quite easily. And just like that, it's over. Oh, Courier, though. Ooh, that's the Eagle Song, too. If they had gotten that...
Wait, Eagle Song? Who's got an Eagle Song? TV?
Yeah.
What? He has an Eagle Song?
Yep. It's on his Courier right over here.
That's wild.
Erica, though, finding a kill on Super.
He's just rushing a Butterfly. Maniac. I haven't seen this build in forever. I mean, it's good against AM.
Oh, the duel coming in now on the clockwork. It'll show off the fact that Legion also has picked up the Blade Mail. So a nice little pick here with September and Flywin. Yeah, I remember yesterday I was like, you know, talking about Butterfly. You're like, nah, no one gets that anymore. You have to be a madman. Well, apparently Erica is a madman.
It's kind of the build that you do when you want to be as as absolutely greedy as possible. And I mean, it seems like in this game, he wants to just hit creeps faster, just outpace the AM, which, I mean, we saw how that turned out yesterday. So, maybe they can hopefully make enough space for him this time. or take the space he's making, or I don't know, however you want to put it.
Looks like they're gearing up. Yeah, they have YDS over here who uses the dust, but Boat coming in with the X as a little bit of a battle going on at the side. They'll be able to take down YDS. They'll take down Fantasy too. Blood forced to just retreat here. That's a bit of a downer, right? Because Xiaofu he's just picking up his Blink Dagger now. So
Doesn't have the hole though, so
I thought he did. He must have. Did he use it early on the anti-mage?
Yeah,
Try to at least.
I don't think so. I'm not sure what he used it on, honestly. He's like holding creeps to farm or something. Gotta get that Blink Dagger fast.
Well, he's got it, but doesn't have the hole. Doesn't have his team right now. I would like to see them take a fight. I don't think Terrorblade has he fought at all? He's got 1 kill under his belt, and I think it's from the laning stage.
Yeah, he's been running at towers a little bit, but not too much. It's hard to fight with this build, though. Like I said, this is usually a farming build. This is just to have the most.
Oh, Flywind jumps in, Monet, arrow, everything. More dual damage. Another victory here for the Legion Commander.
God damn, you don't usually see an AM showing up.
Someone else. YDS, look at that damage.
God, Setsu is so annoying with these just random torrents. It feels like he just doesn't need X to connect the torrents. I mean, he's using the X to connect the arrow, so it makes sense that he's just throwing out these random torrents, but good lord, his success rate has been impressively high in this game.
Dire's top tower is under
I'm enjoying seeing Monet be a very active anti-mage, because he's taken part in quite a few fights, actually, and a couple pickoffs, too.
Yeah, you don't usually see it, but when you have this much of a gold lead, he can definitely contribute a little bit of damage and mana void and get some gold. Even just being a body on the front lines, just hitting towers and putting yourself as a wall. It's pretty good.
Is it because hook shot not quite connecting though? Is it because of the fact that they have super though? Because they have an oracle that allows him to just stay in these fights longer with less risk?
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it, is that he feels a lot like that thought of, okay, if I go to a fight, because if you're a carry and you go to a fight and you die,
that feels bad.
Like once or twice, the game can just be over, because your entire job is to be this immortal, unkillable guy. And so if you have an oracle, yeah, you definitely are more inclined to like, okay, I basically have a get out of jail free card if I ever put myself out of position. That's always a consideration.
They also have so many of these like hard dispels, right? Coming out on the side of RNG, so you feel very protected. Not only because of the oracle, but also you've got a legion, so.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're playing near them, and he's doing a really good job, either playing far away from them where there's no action, or playing like behind them or near them.
Yeah, look how fast they ping out that sentry gets dropped down. They're still staying over here though. I'm really surprised. They're grouped up at least. They've got the Enigma. Kunkka. Moving forward, X immediately, they want to take down this Enigma, but the arrow just doesn't connect quite right away. Flywind here over on the side was looking for that duel, and we'll both get silenced, both get black hole, and up on the other side though. The team, they're not there. Super's getting jumped out. They'll be able to take down Setsu, take down Flywind. Super was like, I'm so sorry team, I wanted to be there, but they were on the back line. September now, he's gonna have to get Yulesed up. Super walking away. They're gonna lose this Mirana though. Yeah. Wow. And still, Super.
Right in front of the Roche pit, too.
Super just sits here looking sad, just, guys.
What can he do? I mean,
he can't, but I mean, look at Monet. He's like, all right, that fight went terrible. I'm going to just try to put some damage here on this tower because I literally cannot fight them all in the Roche pit. Goes down very quickly with the meta being up. Like, Ember's going to TP right back here. Monet doesn't seem to care too much right now. We'll just throw up that spell shield, join up with Super, but...
That's gotta feel bad, missing the combo on the Enigma, and then he turns it right around and just gets this huge two-man black hole through your BKB. That's the thing, is this Midnight Pulse, it does pierce spell immunity, right? It's not pure, but it pierces spell immunity, which means BKB doesn't do anything to this ability. So to Kunkka, this hero, this Enigma hero, is still the old Enigma. In fact, I think it's actually better, technically speaking, because the Midnight Pulse does like 5% or 0.5% more damage than it used to. So amazing counter to the Kunkka, who just has a massive amount of effective HP. And the Midnight Pulse obviously will just shred completely through it because it's percentage. Whereas with the Anti-Mage, it's magic resistance, so he doesn't take any damage from the Midnight Pulse. So very, very good Kunkka counter. We can see it in that fight, and all from missing that combo. The Enigma could have died.
Setsu forced to pop his BKB, walk away, but on the back lines, we're going in for some sort of a duel, but they're not going to be able to find it. The W is coming out after the science. Nice arrow getting thrown out by September, but they're just bathing in this Midnight Pulse. Like we talked about, Flywind, he's trying to move away, and he's just not going to be able to do it. They'll lose another hero. The buyback coming out now from the Oracle. September backing off. They'll use the Moonlight Shadow. Super is here, just in case they decide to get a little bit too greedy, but he was forced to buy back.
God, this is kind of getting out of control for RNG. I mean, it's an 11k gold lead, but it doesn't feel like it. It really feels like King Gaming have a solid foothold, you could say, on this game.
They're just playing together very nicely, and I think that's something that they struggled with in the previous game that we watched with them. Is that, you know, that we talked about just like all the pieces not coming together, like there's too many people spread out throughout the map. And today it feels like they're playing together tighter. They're, you know, comboing up their spells very nicely with the Grimstroke.
Do it with flair.
They look better.
Yeah, definitely. The Grim ulti and the Enigma ulti have been paying dividends in the last few fights.
Well, that split in the last fight, right, was so good.
Yes, oh, definitely. I'm not entirely sure what the counter is, too. I mean, you have to duel the Enigma. That's the counter. I'm not sure if there's anything else.
Or you take a fight when you know the black hole is down.
Yeah, true.
Because then you can't get locked in. But, like, I mean, it also works out really well. They have that clockwork on the side of King Gaming that he just goes, he drops the cogs, and you're either trapped in them or you're trapped to one side or the other. So the positioning has been very good.
Yeah, I mean, Clock Enigma is nice because as an Enigma, you always want somebody to go in and basically start some chaos. Mm-hmm. So you can capitalize on the fact that when there is chaos, that tends to be when people group up because they're not paying attention to their positioning because they're trying to like very quickly, instinctively respond to what's happening. And so Clockwork is just one of the best heroes at basically causing this chaos, which Enigma is one of the best heroes at capitalizing upon that. So definitely a nice hero to pick with the Enigma. Almost has the BKB too.
It's very close.
Enigma. Yeah, super close. Then they absolutely have to duel him. Otherwise, it's gonna be rough.
Welcome back.
Here's the interesting thing about this draft from Keen is that when the Terrorblade goes for this absolutely crazy butterfly Sanjin Yasha build, where it feels so greedy, but when you think about an anti-mage 1v1ing a TB with these items, it's not going to happen. Like, this is the anti-mage counter in terms of items. And then the Enigma deals with all of the other heroes on RNG. So they've kind of covered all their bases in some sense by going for this TB build as well as having the Enigma. And if they didn't go for this build on TB, I'd be a little bit worried about how do you kill the anti-mage. But that's how. The TB kills the anti-mage. Enigma kills everybody else.
Yep. Method to the madness that we've been seeing. Do have the BKB picked up now on the Legion, but again, you know, a lot of it is sidestepping the black hole, making sure that you don't get caught and that Enigma can't get it off because he just does not care about those BKBs with most of his spells.
Speaking of the black hole...
Monet? Spell shields up. Super's here. They back off, but September finds a kill on YDS with Kunkka over here, so...
They have the sheep on Setsu now. So that's a solid way of killing all three of the cores of King Gaming. You can kill the Enigma before he gets a BKB off, because of course when you're sheeped, you can't press items. So.
Ooh, and here comes the big item though. BKB on the Enigma has just been completed. They lose the Aegis though, so a little bit less of an advantage now. But it all comes down to who initiates on who, right?
100%. I think if you're Dire, you have to initiate on the Enigma, and if you're Radiant, you can kind of go on whoever. I mean, Oracle's a big pick-off. I think Oracle's the big one, because then he can't save anybody, but really it's all about setting up for that black hole, so you kind of can just go on whoever if you're YDS, for example.
They had this nice ward just placed over here, paying off quite a bit because they spotted 3 of the heroes making their rotation over to the mid lane earlier. Were able to immediately move their way to the top area.
Do it with flair.
Seeing
Yeah,
some interesting warding.
You see that
Especially
a
in this
lot
region,
these
too.
days. Yeah. That is an interesting ward, just like the low ground one. You mean?
Yeah, the low ground over by the ice spot.
Yeah, it's a cool one. I mean, it's definitely not going to get dewarded. That'll never get dewarded, but it does give you that little glimpse of vision that you need to know where the enemy team's at. It doesn't show you what they're doing per se, but you'll know where they are, which is the more important thing most of the time.
Gosh, they just clean up all of these Eidolons so quickly with the Legion and the Oracle together. Good
Oh yeah,
grief.
it's no problem. No problem at all. Smoke up here. Oh, Monet.
They black hole him immediately. They've got the Moonlight Shadow, but are they going to be able to save him? They do. Oracle being close by here. He's on the back lines. He's getting hit here by YDS. They're not going to have a lot to heal him up with again, though. They'll be able to take down Super on the back lines. Flywin trying to fight his way through here. BKB over on Xiaofu has already been popped. Now Mirana following up. It's a good Yules. We'll buy them a little bit more time so they don't have to deal with this meta. But in comes Blood. He's looking for Setsu. He's looking for Monet as well. But I don't think they're going to be able to find them at this point. Yeah, look at this. TP's out. Black Hole is down, and all you lost was Super.
Yeah, you're cool with that. You can see how bad the Enigma is versus the Anti-Mage in that fight. Just, if that's old Enigma with pure damage Midnight Pulse, 100% Monet dies there before anybody saves him. Even the
So
saves
close.
aren't going to do anything. It's just that he's only taking 40% of the damage from the Midnight Pulse. So it's really ineffective versus this hero, sadly. Pink's come out on the mid lane. I don't think you're killing a Kunkka, buddy.
I'll try to be as annoying as possible.
Back so soon?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I don't understand where Setsu has gotten all this farm. Like, what is he doing to get this farm? He's 2, and 6. I feel like there's not enough gold on the map for him to be this rich, but here he is. This guy's...
I don't know.
He's bougie. He's got so many items.
Radiant are scanning.
Smoke from the low ground. Hoping to grab Erica here. They sense something's up though. Yeah, look at that scan. They know immediately. Get out. Looks like they still want to go for it though. The BKB coming out from Flywin. He wants to try to finish up here. Arrow's going to get thrown in, but it's not going to be able to quite connect. Followed up with that Midnight Pulse. It's not enough damage over here. Erica, he's doing a lot to go right back in, and he'll be able to go get the Sunder off on September. Backlines though, YDS, he was looking for an opening. He was trying to get this pesky Oracle, and he's not going to be successful, so they will lose the clockwork.
God, it is so difficult to kill the Terrorblade. There's a funny little interaction in that fight where he sundered the target that had the Soulbind on, and I think it took the HP from the secondary target from the Soulbind. So he actually just sundered to be the exact same HP because it was like about roughly what his was at, the secondary target on the ulti from Grimstroke. So
I was wondering, it didn't feel like it did a whole heck of a lot, but
oh, the big Sunder coming. Oh, okay. I guess that's how it works. Yeah, it's rough. Erica feels impossible to kill though in these fights.
it's going to be difficult for sure.
I am not entirely sure how RNG kill him. I think they have to kill everybody else and then kill him last. I think that's the first and last time we'll see them go on him first like that.
I think Xiaofu is definitely your target.
100%. Okay, never mind. Just kidding. They're gonna
Or
go on
just
Erica.
jump on Erica again. That's fine. That's cool. Metamorphosis being popped here by Erica, but they'll just back off. He'll be forced to use to farm up.
Well, that's something you can do. Just debate the meta.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom
You
tower
greedy
is under
carry
attack.
player, Erica. Give that to the Enigma. Why are you
The
taking
Enigma
the
has a
arcane rune?
quickening charm. He's
Dire are
fine.
scanning.
Oh my god, carry players, man. Ah, this will be a great farming arcane rune. I can
sound
get my
triggered.
monkey. Yes. See, I'm the Enigma player in this game usually. I'm just like, oh, my black hole cooldown. I'm so sad.
Aw, Whittle Baby Jenkins wants his arcane rune.
Hey, you shut up. You're a support. You don't get anything, okay?
I am.
You get the peasant
nothing.
items and the peasant runes.
With flair.
I don't even get the shovel anymore. What the hell?
Hey, because you know what? Because us cores, we need that shovel. We need those free teepees. They're
What the
expensive.
hell you do?
In this economy?
Hey, it could be worse. It could. You guys could just make me dig up all of the TPs and oh, look at us immediately jumping forward. Can they take down Jafu fast enough? They will. There's no black hole for this fight. They'll follow up over here onto YDS, and they'll get themselves another kill. Great reveal of the Abyssal Blade on Monet.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you do it. You have to kill this hero first. That's basically the name of the game, is that it's Enigma versus the world. So, I mean, he does have buyback. Looks like they probably want to force it here.
That's clearly what Monet wants to do.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Fort comes out.
Radiant's
22
They
seconds.
need to be careful. They're really stacked up upon each other, too. Grimstroke would love to be able to get that soul bind off when they're that close.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They hugging each other over there.
Yeah, if only Enigma was alive, he'd be he's like frothing at the mouth looking at these two. Look at these idiots. They're grouped up. Oh.
If
That's
only
all
I
right
were
there.
alive. Yeah.
And now the name of the game becomes Kill Enigma again.
Ooh, double damage rune found by Setsu, though. That's pretty nice. We'll bottle that up, save it for later. I feel like, yeah, Roche is up. They have a courier scouting over on the side of Keen. I think that is the next objective. That should be where our next big fight comes out. And it's pretty hard to fight into it when they have an Enigma. So again, it's going to be, how do we take him out first? It's all about the positioning.
Yep, 100%. I think if you're Keen, you basically don't want to fight unless you're smoking into the enemy team or standing on some sort of high ground or something like that. Like, you basically want to only take fights on your own terms. That's how you win this, because otherwise you're gonna lose.
That's the second Abyssal Blade picked up, and Kunkka has a double damage. RNG have some really nice conditions for them to try to take a fight if they can find the right opening.
Yeah, I like the Abyssal pickups on both these heroes. Just after that first time where they tried to go into Erica, it just seemed like
Okay.
okay, YDS.
Alright, YDS is very excited over here. Fly wins. Gonna have to pop his own BKB, try to run away. Big old boat coming in off from the side, but it's not gonna connect on anyone. Just give him a little bit of that buff here. As they'll try to just hit Erica, hold him into place. Arrows getting tossed out. We'll connect over to YDS. Monet needs to be careful here, though. He's gonna just go blink himself out of a bad position. YDS is gonna get taken down by a beautiful Starfall. And RNG, they just back off.
They're being so careful about the Enigma. They're like, dude, if we can't see this guy, we are not fighting.
Good Setsu. Sheep comes out. He's gonna try to get as much damage as he can over here. BKB immediately popped though from Setsu as YDS buys back.
My God, I can like the tension is palpable. You know, like it's basically you have Xiaofu over here who is
Dire are
just waiting to get off a double or triple hole, and then you have RNG
Hook
who
shot?
there's
Right onto Super, and they don't have any sort of a force step to move him away, but Flywind says, I don't care, I'm gonna get right in there. Shafu, though, he's got the BKB, but he doesn't have it. They have the Abyssal to be able to take down Flywind. They'll take down YDS. The Abyssal is not enough. Shafu is taking so much damage, but it's gonna be Monet who makes it out alive for only for a second. The buybacks are coming out en masse now for RNG. They know there's no Enigma, no black hole. Now is the time to fight. Make sure that these guys cannot get Roche's. Erica's gonna get stunned up. Oh, Monet, though, on the back lines, trying to get in. Look at that damage coming out. Fly when he had the BKB out. Setsu also having to run out. It's just a tag team now as everybody's trying to get into the pit to take down Erica, and eventually they will succeed. But that was 3 buybacks on the side of
Radiant's bottom
Royal
tower
Never Give Up.
is under attack. Shot.
great hole. That was a cool hole. But with that being said, I'm actually convinced that I want to say Enigma's a crappy hero. Just after watching that, like Abyssal Blade, that's the counter. I understand why they went for the Abyssals now. I didn't clue into that until now. But it's just the range BKB piercing cancel on the black hole. And if they have 2 of them, then that means even if he gets a Lincoln Sphere, they can just use both of the Abyssals. They can just Abyssal 1, cancel this, cancel the Lincolns, and use the second Abyssal. So Because that would have been a disaster if they didn't have that Abyssal on Kunkka.
Okay, Fantasy.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
I was trying to counter push, guys.
I was trying to use my spells. Sorry. God, look at this. Anti-mage. He is just out for blood. The buyback on the Grimstroke here. But they're just shredding through buildings. YDS looking for an opening. Setsu jumping forward immediately over onto Blood. It's a good soulbind, won't land, but there's going to be an arrow to follow it up as September jumps in. They'll take down Blood, they'll take down YDS. There's a gem just laying on the deck over here. September says, alright, I guess I'll go grab it, guys.
Okay, I know I say this every game, Moxie, but now we're in rapier territory.
You literally did lately.
I think Erica needs a rapier.
I don't think they can get out of the space to go get it. Look at them. They're just looking for the end here. Monet feels powerful. So does Setsu.
Yeah,
this is rough.
Oh, Erica. They have it. Yeah, the double abyssal. BKB comes out. Boat's going to follow up. Erica's still alive and kicking, though. Monet having to get saved by the Oracle. Setsu's taking a lot of damage. He is actually going to fall here. The rest of the side of RNG just walk away.
If King Gaming were really cool, if they were alphas, if they were chads, they'd walk straight down mid and end the game, anticipating that Setsu bought out. He has an Assault Cuirass recipe, so he doesn't have buyback. Although he should have it soon. He's got 28 gold for it. With those bounties, he will actually have it, but... Alright, Erica, let's see the rapier, dog.
I think he's going Scotty. Let's see.
Oh no. Oh
yeah,
no.
The 2 ultimate orbs have been purchased, Jenkins. There'll be no rapier just yet.
No way. That's not a big enough item. You know what is a big item, though?
But...
Refresher on Enigma, which he is getting closer to. It's very expensive, but... Soon.
It doesn't matter when they have so many abyssals, though. Like, they've got a lot of good interrupts.
Probably not. Seems pretty good. That abyssal change.
Guys, someone go. Okay, yeah. Erica's ran home. Look at these 2 Cardis and all those range creeps. It's wailing away on their towers.
Not fun. Not great. God, look at this ward right in the King Gaming base.
It's giving them a lot of information.
Super nice.
Yes? No, they don't have vision on him, so... Smoke will come out, though, from the side of Keen, hoping to possibly get themselves an advantageous setup here. Hook shot's going to be used on September, who just leaps forward. No problem. BKB coming out from Flight, but they want to go in. They just take down Fantasy. Monet here is taking a lot of damage. September is going to be able to follow up with a nice arrow, but look at Monet. He's on the back lines. Shafu, he manages to get the... Oh, gosh, are they going to be able to follow up? No, they're going to be able to go take the boat, take down Shafu. September will fall, but the jump in here, they're trying to get the kill onto Erica. They'll find it's a triple kill now for Monet. Blood getting himself a double kill as he does manage to take down Super, but I believe the ultimate was already used, and now Blood over here on the side. Can they lock him down? It's not looking like it. No, the jump forward from Monet, and that's an ultra kill. No buyback on Blood, no buyback on Erica. The good game, well played, gets called.
Look at Setsu. He's just on the
We wanted that rampage, man.
Look at Setsu. Oh my god, he was stuck on a cliff that entire time. His anti-mage is just getting a rampage. He's like, I'm the top of net worth. You shouldn't be getting... That's my rampage. Oh man, what a game. Okay, well, the biggest
that last fight went so fast. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think RNG really figured it out. You know, it's really clear as that game progresses. Honestly, that game's a really cool example of just watching a team basically figure out how to take difficult team fights. Because it's not easy to execute versus an Enigma. Like 90% of the time, if you're in a pub with the RNG draft